What's up, everyone? I decided to go for a little ride, but thought I'd do a quick video on the reasons why I actually ended up getting the Norden, but more along the lines of why I wanted to get rid of my BMW. For those of you that don't know, I rode a 850 GSA for I don't know, about a year and a half. Not my first adventure bike, but definitely the one that was a big boy adventure bike. So yeah, I had some real issues with it, number one, but here's sort of the top 5 reasons why I ended up getting rid of the GSA. The first one is reliability. I had a major clutch malfunction issue that left me stranded on the WAB EDR for a few hours while we sort of helped limp the bike along. Luckily we were at the top of a hill, so we're able to sort of get down and out. But yeah, it's one of those things where the clutch burned itself up. The bike had about 3,000 miles on it, and there was some sort of slippage issue with the clutch cord from the factory. Completely rendered the bike useless at that point. So not only did the clutch fail really early, but then also the way that BMW just handled it was horrible. It took me a few weeks of fighting with them to get the whole thing covered under warranty. I mean, again, 3,000 miles, and they tried to pull the clutch as a wear part thing, and I did something wrong until finally they realized, oop, it was something that they did. So anyway, it's one of those things where when companies don't stand behind their products, it pisses me off. And that was kind of the point where I was just like, you know what, nail in the coffin. There were other reasons though. So yeah, reliability was a big one. Second reason, the old number 2, was definitely weight. It was all about the weight. And one, I wanted a bike that was lighter. The GSA especially has got a lot of weight, but more so than just lightweight. I probably would have even gone for a bike that's similar weight if I could get it. Pretty day, man, look at that. Whew. Anyway, I'd probably go with a bike that had similar weight if it would carried it a little bit lower. The GSA has this huge tank, but more than just that, it's that the tank is up high. So especially when you're off-road and you're going slower, the bike is super top heavy, and right when you really need the stability, you know, you get into a tricky situation, that's when it really penalizes you the most. So for someone like me that's not an excellent off-road rider still, it was hard. I mean, I think it set me back as far as skill progression, having such a heavy bike or such a top heavy bike. So yeah, if that's, I think BMW actually made a really big mistake when they redesigned the 800 series, because they used to have a normal tank for the I think it was the 800 GSA, normal tank size up front. It was still high, not like the KTM or the Husky where it carries it down low, but then they also had a rear tank, so you kind of had the weight spread out on the bike, the rear of the motorcycle a little bit lower. So yeah, it probably would have been a better way to go. I'm sure it complicates fuel runs, and you know how they actually have to pipe it. You have to be able to switch from one tank to the other. But I think that it might actually help the motorcycle if they reverted back to that design. It's certainly a big difference on the Husky. I'm sure the KTM's the same way. I mean, having the weight down low, granted it's less fuel, but it's always carried so much more. This bike is so much more maneuverable and more confidence inspiring, especially when you're off-road. I mean, on the road it is too, but it doesn't matter as much, so definitely weight. Alright, so reason number 3, reliability. Now, if you're thinking reason number 1 was reliability, you're right. But I had a couple of different issues with this bike, not this bike, with my 850 GSA. And so outside of the clutch malfunction issue I already covered, the bike would also just eat oil. It would lose oil like crazy. I mean, I would top it up, get home after a ride, and the oil level would be incredibly low again. It was never leaking oil. That's the crazy part about this the whole thing. It's like it just would disappear. So the funny thing is, I talked to the BMW about it again, and they said, oh, that's completely normal. And the nuts thing is that you go on the forums, BMW owners forums, and you'll see this all over the place, not just with the 850 either. I think it's more associated with the engines that they make in China, not the Boxer engines. But still, when your bike's going through oil so much that you have to bring an extra quart with you on any ride you go on, I just don't think that's normal. And the dealership would say, you know, just keep riding it, and we're going to measure it at your next oil service interval, which is something like, I don't know, I can't remember if it's 5,000 miles or more. But if you were to wait that long, you'd run the goddamn engine dry. So again, I think the way that BMW handles these things is terrible. I think the service around that is just terrible. And so outside of the fact that you just couldn't ride your motorcycle without carrying a milk crate full of oil, I wanted nothing to do with the bike. Two reliability issues in a year are just too much for me. Even one on a motorcycle is too much for me. So yeah, if it had only been those two things, I still would have gotten rid of the bike. Weight aside, I think these roads are a little damp. Must have gotten some rain here. You ever start a ride and it's super warm, and then you go up into the hills or mountains and it's like 10 degrees different, and then you go, why the hell didn't I wear my real pants or my my windbreaker? God, I'm freezing right now. Look at 49 degrees. I think it was like 55, closer to 60 when I left the house. So I think it's time to find some lower elevation. But yeah, let's talk. All right, number 4. So we got reliability, weight, reliability. Number 4, I'm gonna go with just the looks of the bike. When I bought the GSA, I did think it was a great looking bike, but the more I had it and the more I got used to it, I guess I would say, is I really hated the front fairing. I don't know what it was. I mean, I love the color scheme, the graphics on the bike were cool, and you know, this is 100% subjective, this category, but every time I caught a glimpse of the bike head on with the front fairing, stay red car, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. I'd be like, ugh. It looked like it ate another motorcycle or something, and as much as that front fairing was great on the highway, although maybe it wasn't that great on the highway. I mean, wind in your face, yeah, it was good, but I remember being in crosswinds in eastern Washington. I think it was like 60 mile an hour crosswinds, and that freaking fairing, I'm pretty sure, was just catching air. I mean, I think it was it almost pushed me off the highway at one point. So hey, maybe that would have happened with any bike. That could be unfair, but still, a motorcycle, you should look back every time you get off your bike and say, I love that motorcycle, it's beautiful. And I just didn't do that with the BMW. And, you know, it was functional to a certain degree, but But yeah, in the end, you gotta love your bike, right? I mean, if you don't love your bike, it's just not worth it. So, boy, you gotta love Western Washington. Ran into Walmart for some auto supplies. Come out, sun to rain. Probably go back to sun, but suiting up. I looked at my riding pants that are waterproof and said, just going out for a quick run, what's the point? Man, how about that? You go into the DMV and it's sunny again. I must have been in there for a week. Oh, I actually stopped at the DMV there. I just bought a mini truck, this little Japanese truck for, well, actually I thought I might be able to haul this bike around in it, as well as my kid's little dirt bike and dump runs and whatnot as well, but yeah, it's a funny little thing. Maybe there'll be a video of that later on in the series. I guess we covered all 4 reasons so far, didn't we? We got reliability times 2, the looks, the weight, so now I'm on to number 5. Nice guy there. 5th reason I got rid of the GSA was actually is the height of the bike. I had the hardest time getting on that thing unless I climbed up onto a peg and swung a leg over, and that's just like raw. Oh, god damn it. You know, these blinkers, they just, why Husqvarna, why didn't you include shut-off blinkers? Alright, so yeah, the height, like I was saying, without luggage on it, I still couldn't get a leg over the thing. I'm not the most flexible person. I'm probably getting close to 250 now, 5'11", and I don't stretch. But still, I mean, I just couldn't get my leg over that bike. It would trip me up. I'd probably fall over getting off. Once you're on it, it wasn't that high, but I think it's just the way the seat sits, or the rear pillion or something. I'm not sure exactly. It was always a pain though. This bike I can throw a leg over it no problem. Even with my Moscow Moto bags on it, I can still get my leg over the damn thing. But yeah, the GSA doesn't have that much more ground clearance. You know, I think as far as when I'm just, you know, sitting at a traffic light or whatever, it's probably about the same. Not flat-footed on either bike, but sometimes you want to look cool, man. Run up and swing a leg over. That wasn't happening with that bike. So yeah, that's probably the 5th reason that I got rid of it. But I'm not sure as far as telling. When I told my wife I was buying a new motorcycle, did any of these reasons come up? I'm trying to think to myself. Probably not. The conversation probably went more like, hey babe, I think I could save some money if I bought a new motorcycle because the GSA is so expensive compared to the Norden. In reality, that's not true either. Price wise, I'm not sure I paid much less than I paid for the GSA, but the GSA did have more bells and whistles. But anyway, you know what? How you're gonna prepare your significant other for the fact that you're getting rid of your GSA, that's a different video. I'm not even sure that I'm the expert on that. All I can say is good luck to you. Good luck to you, my friends, and I hope it works out. But people have gotten divorced for less, so just be prepared. Alright, well, I'm stuck behind this truck, so the riding is not going to be that much fun to watch. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think I got a couple more how-tos coming up on this Norden of mine, so I'm definitely going to be looking to upgrade the lighting here soon. And I'm pretty sure I ordered something else, but I can't remember exactly what it is, so stay tuned. Alright, cheers.